Greetings and welcome back to another fragrance video and another fragrance review. And today, as you can see by the title, we are talking about the fragrance L'homme by the house of Prada. In fact, this is actually my favorite designer fragrance ever, at least up to this point. I don't know, I just really like how this fragrance smells. So, as always in these reviews, let's take a quick look at the packaging first, and then we're going to talk about the notes, the projection, longevity, how this fragrance smells, etc. So, the fragrance itself comes in a black cardboard box. At the front in silver we have the letters L'homme Prada Milano, and at the bottom it says the concentrations. This is an eau de toilette or EDT concentration, and the size is the 100 ml or 3.3 fluid ounces. At the sides of the box it says L'homme Prada again, but in black, and at the back of the box again, like the sides, L'homme Prada in black letters. At the bottom of the box we get the ingredients, the batch code, as well as some warnings, and we don't really have anything at the top of the box. And when we open the box, we can take out our beautiful fragrance bottle. It is of course a glass bottle. At the front it says Prada Milano, and the sides and the back are covered with this faux leather material. It looks like leather, but it's really more rubbery or plasticky material. And at the back we have stamped in it, it again says Prada Milano. At the bottom we get a sticker with again the batch code, the concentration, and the ingredients listed. And at the top we have a silver cap. The cap is click-on, and it actually holds the fragrance bottle fairly well. So you can grab this fragrance bottle by the cap, it should not fall off. At the top of the cap it says Prada, and when we lift the cap up, we have a silver sprayer, and the quality of the sprayer is pretty good. You get plenty of juice per each spray. Overall, I like the packaging. I think the packaging of this fragrance is really cool. It's very elegant. But as you all know, it's not the packaging that's most important. It is what's inside the packaging, or the fragrance juice. So let's talk about the notes that are stated for this fragrance, as we always do. The top notes stated are the notes of neroli, cardamom, black pepper, and carrot seeds. In the mid notes we have iris, violet, geranium, and mate tea. And in the base notes we have amber, cedarwood, patchouli, and sandalwood. With regards to longevity and projection, on my skin this fragrance is definitely not a beast mode fragrance. In fact, on my skin this lasts about 7 hours, with the projection being about a meter within the first hour of applying this fragrance, after which it starts to become slowly more of a skin scent. However, even though when you stand you don't necessarily make a huge scent bubble around you, as you walk you do have a beautiful scent trail behind you. So this fragrance has excellent sillage, interestingly enough. Seasons when I recommend you to wear this fragrance, this is definitely an all-season fragrance, so it can be worn in the colder and warmer months of the year. However, I think it's best, of course, in the spring and autumn months, as most fragrances for all seasons tend to do. Age range when I recommend you to wear this fragrance, well, because this is a formal smelling fragrance, I think this is for somebody that is becoming a young professional, so somebody who is starting college, so 19 years and up, if we're generalizing, because of course age is just a number. And finally, the occasion when I would recommend you to wear this fragrance, like I said, this is a formal smelling smell, so this is something for formal occasions. It's a office fragrance, definitely one of the best office fragrances in my opinion, and maybe also for a date. However, only for a date if you're going to a more, let's say, fancy restaurant with your girlfriend. I think this would be a beautiful fragrance to pick for that occasion. And that's more or less it regarding the general specifications of the fragrance. I just also want to mention the perfumer behind this beautiful smell. So this was made by Daniela Andrieri. She is the official perfumer for Prada, if I'm not mistaken, and she has made most of the current fragrances Prada has to offer, so definitely she is a very, very talented perfumer. So now it's time to talk about how this fragrance actually smells. And there are two ways to talk about this. So we will talk about first about the, so let's say, note breakdown, how I pick up the notes of this fragrance, and then the second way would be the more simplistic way to explain it, but let's just keep this a bit more interesting and get a little bit more technical. So At the very opening of this fragrance, at least for my nose, the most dominant notes are the notes of neroli and black pepper. In fact, how they smell, it smells very similar to a peppery 4711 eau de cologne, but this is just for like the first 5 minutes. Why eau de cologne? Because the neroli smells like the fresh citrusy smell from the 4711 eau de cologne, or Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino if you've never tried 4711 eau de cologne, with the black pepper making it, of course, peppery, spicy, a bit harsh. However, after the first 5 minutes, the main player comes onto the stage. It is, of course, the iris note in this fragrance. The iris note is what makes this fragrance magical for me. Now, when I say iris note, maybe you expect this then, oh well, it smells like, I don't know, women's makeup, like lipstick, sweet, powdery. Not necessarily. Most of the times, perfumers use iris to make a fragrance smell like lipstick, like makeup, like powdery smell, a sweet smell. For example, something like Dior's Homme fragrance. However, in this fragrance, the iris has been used a bit differently. It's been used to make this fragrance smell very clean, very fresh. Like Jeremy Fragrance would say, a fresh fabric softener, and I tend to agree with him. I think the iris has been used beautifully in this fragrance. Prada is the king of soapy fragrances, and this is definitely the fragrance that proves it. So the beautiful iris in this fragrance gives it a very fresh, very clean smell. And as we get to the dry down, as we get to the base notes, the sweet, the clean and fresh smell becomes slightly sweet from the amber and slightly woody from the sandalwood and cedarwood notes. So it's a slightly sweet, slightly woody, but mostly fresh and clean fabric softener type of smell. And that's how the fragrance smells on a more maybe technical level. However, basically, if we want to break it down in 2 words, it smells fresh and clean, and therefore it smells beautiful. Now, if we look at the fragrance families, this would fall under the Chypre category. Some people say that this smells boring, that this smells linear, and I always say to these people, no, it smells very good. And the fact that it's maybe linear is actually kind of a compliment, because the most difficult things to pull off are the things that look simple at first glance, because you always have to do them in a perfect manner. If you're trying to play a simple song, if you just miss one chord, the whole song sounds terrible, while with more complex compositions, maybe you can get away with some missing chords. The same as with these fragrances like Grand Soir, for example, or this fragrance, if only one note was off, this would not smell as good as it does. So the simplest things are always the most difficult to pull off, definitely. Of course, there is a female version of this smell, Prada L'homme, which is coincidentally my favorite female fragrance, and I hope to review this fragrance soon as well. But overall, do I recommend you buying this fragrance? Absolutely 100% yes. This is my second bottle. This is the only fragrance I ever had to buy a second bottle of, because I just love the smell so much. I go to the office, so I wear this often in the office. I like to wear this even outside the office because it just smells so amazing. I think you would love this fragrance. Of course, always try fragrances, never blind buy them. And that's it for this video. If you liked the video, as always, leave a thumbs up. If you disliked the video, leave a thumbs down, and maybe give me some suggestions on how I can improve my content. Subscribe if you want to see more fragrance or wristwatch related videos. And until next time, guys, have a great day and bye.